A train wreck to spin fire, the NFT and Elsa, diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer, from your coins to tokens. He's got
You know what? All right, we're a little late, so let's cut that intro short. Good morning, guys. Mega GMs. Welcome to the final week of 2025. Good Lord, dude. The year flew. You're absolutely. Yeah, the older you get, the faster they go. And you know what's weird? Not to take us off track, like right from the start, which I just have a knack for doing, but okay, weird thing. I think for kids, time is moving faster too. And in fact, I'm really sure about it, right? Okay, boomer advice, boomer lesson. Okay, boomer story. That's all it is. Boomer story. Okay, when we were kids, we were bored, right? We normal for us to be bored. You had no idea what you're going to do in the day, and often there was nothing to do in the day. So you might go play in the woods or some shit. Kids aren't bored anymore, dude. They've got their tablets and their phones and their games and their whatever. They're never bored, and I think time is just flying. I don't ever remember talking about like the school year and how quick it's going. Maybe until you get to the very end. It felt like this big, long, daunting thing. It did. It felt like a thing that would never end. I was talking with my kids last night, and I'm like, dude, you're like halfway through, not quite, but like halfway through your school year. Like, it's going so fast. I'm like, it's different. Times are different. Time's moving fast. Anyway, pointless boomer ramble to start the day. Hey, dude, there's some signs of life out there right now. I'm sorry, but there's some signs. Nothing. I'm moving on. Nothing yet, but there's some signs and some really, really interesting things out there. I'll tell you, buddy, Moonship, not a rug, but it's actually not a rug. It's actually real, and it's proven real. And of course, I'm talking about the Nick Shirley token, which I'm really excited to get into this morning here. Nick Shirley meme coin, not a meme coin, but meme coin, but looking interesting. We got the white whale token. Again, signs of life, and I'm looking for these signs to give me that green light that, for me, yes, I can go trade again. I'm not trading these things yet. I'm waiting. I'm watching. And if these things keep doing what they're doing, it's a sign that maybe we're back. Maybe. We talked about some of these over the weekend, too. I hope early enough that people, if you are active in trading, maybe got an opportunity to get in some of them, because as of right now, they're looking like some pretty interesting opportunities. Quickly, though, some quick GMs. Moonship, good morning. It's good to see you, man. DK, good morning, sir. Hood's GM. Gravity, good morning. Good to see you, boys. Like usual, we're live on Abstract. We're live on, let's see, Zora. We're live on Zora, which, by the way, is where the Nick token lives. So we're going to go peek at that in just a moment. So we're streaming over there too. I think we're live on Kick. We're on Abstract. We're on Twitch. We're on X. We're everywhere at this point. And of course, YouTube, which is home base. So wherever you're watching, hit the like, but make sure you come over to this side. Come over to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe over here. It's Crypto Slam over there. You can follow us at Crypto Slam IO over on X. And of course, join us in Slam Nation to power your dashboards, your apps, your alpha insight signals, what have you, and your AI agents. You need the best data in the industry. And you'll get it right here, especially on ETH and on Base. Everything on chain, and as I like to call it, we have the way back machine of the blockchain. Everything at the historical block level. The kind of alpha, the insights you surface from that, just incredible stuff. Come tap in. We'll give you some credits to tap into our API for free. Bring in our Slack with our devs, our team, other teams. Something like, I think we have 60 or so people in there. Sharing ideas and tricks and tips and techniques and whatever. And me doing my part, it's the show, and I want to bring you on the show and show people what you are building. So reach out to us at Slam Nation X over on X, and we want to bring you in here. Also, make sure you're following Ethos Swarm. More coming. I can't. I've learned some lessons. I can't say shit. But the swarm evolved, but it's so much. That's even doing it a disservice. Just to note, if you're a Swarm holder, this is for you. It's for a lot more. It will do some pretty wild stuff. Go peek at the account. Look at the trailer here. Take a peek. Take a peek. Go watch the trailer. More coming soon. All right. So here's the deal. And we're going to start off talking about some of these tokens because I think they matter a lot. Of course, we'll talk silver. We'll look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at it all. But, for me, I play in easy mode. I probably don't have to say it every show, but I do. I'm not an active trader. I like to keep up on the stories. I like the tech. I like the community. That's my jam, right? But I do play when it's easy mode. And it certainly hasn't been easy mode now going on months. It hasn't been. And I think even before 1010, I don't think it was easy out there. And I'm always watching for signs that easy mode's maybe returning. And we're not there yet. We're not there yet, but the signs I'm looking for is exactly stuff like this. Okay, so Nick Shirley, at this point, everybody knows the name. For a lot of people, I wonder if this past weekend, whenever that video came out, I think it was the weekend, was maybe a lot of people's first time ever hearing of the guy, right? But Nick Shirley, I guess you call him a journalist now. Young dude who, boots on the ground. He goes to, protests and demonstrations and whatever, and he just covers it live. And he did this big expose on the, supposed fraud going on in Minnesota. Okay. So we know that story, super viral story. Well, all of a sudden we see, and we actually did this live yesterday, we saw some tweets that he had a token on base. Right? That he is a token. Does he have two Y's in his name? Did I spell his name wrong, dude? I'll check that after. What I might have. Token on base that at first I was pretty sure was fake, right? We were looking at it live yesterday in our stream. Thought it was a fake token. No way could I picture Nick Shirley or anybody who's, kind of making it or made it. I don't know, dude. I've been struggling with the creator coin meta, even though I have one and I get the idea, but I didn't see any big names or personalities actually doing it. So then we see on Zora that there's a Nick Shirley account with tokenized content, has made thousands in fees. We're like, there's no way it's really Nick. And so we start looking through the videos that are posted there, and holy cow, they look real. Where he even does a countdown, to try to prove that it's not AI. And so we're looking, we're like, dude, I think it's real. I think it's real. We did a little more digging yesterday too, and found another account, another Nick Shirley account that happened to have not just the content tokenized, but had the account, the top level creator coin created, and it was a Nick Shirley account, and that one is actually real. Nick Shirley does have a token here. He has an official Zora account. We know, and this is a really easy way to know how, it's linked to his X account, and you can only do that if you have control of the X account. You actually have to go authorize it and connect it. This is Nick Shirley's official Zora account with an official Nick Shirley token, sitting at a 5.3 mil market cap right now. Now, yesterday on the stream, guys, check me if I'm misremembering this, but I think we were at 2 mil yesterday, maybe 2.5 mil. I think it was right around there, somewhere between 2 and 3. I don't think it was above 3. I think 2.5 mil market cap yesterday. And we were looking, and again, we verified it was real. The first account we looked at was not real. This one is. And this ripped up to a 7 mil market cap this morning. This has actually got some motion, and all of a sudden the spidey sense is really starting to tingle here for a few reasons. This meta, hard to understand, hard to make it make sense, hard for me to believe that this is really going to work, but actually, guys, this hit a 9 mil market cap, not 7. This hit 9. Okay, but I get the concept. I get it. Part of me sees, I keep doing the Paul Atreides thing. I see all these different outcomes. I see this narrow path where it does work, and it takes a big name and it takes big adoption. It takes that for it to work. But I see that narrow path where this works. It takes somebody like this, super viral, and perfect storm here, because not only is this a viral creator, you have the base ecosystem who has just been dying for an example that works. An example, one successful token that they can do everything in their power to shove in front of people and show you, we were right. We got it right. This works, and here's how, and here's why, and here's how you do it. And now they have Nick Shirley as their example to show everybody the creator coins work. That's what they can do. And that's what they have done. I believe, you know what? I don't remember which person on the base team did it. I think somebody like very high up in the base ecosystem tweeted this out and showed it, helped push this up to that 9 mil market cap. And Moonship, you're right. We'll see next week. We'll see next week. I struggle with it, dude. Again, I have a creator coin, so I know how this goes. Right place, right time, hot moment, anything can pump. Mine did too. Can you sustain it? Most of these token supplies are not sustainable. Now, Zora is different. I don't know the tokenomics. I don't know if it mints you a billion tokens. I don't know how many it does. These are ripe for like insiders and snipers and big money guys to come in and sweep up, like just snipe all that supply at the beginning and just dump it every time people start buying. They can kill these tokens. The counter to that is if it's a big enough personality who can really bring in, I mean, like thousands and thousands of holders, and really needs to be more than that, like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, that can counter any supply issues. Now, I do know half the token supply goes right to Nick, and he unlocks it over time, so he can't dump his 50% on people yet. So we got to wait, watch, see. We'll see how it goes. Really, I'll just say really interesting, and you got to be watching this. Individual pieces of content here on the platform are tokenized too, right? Each of these has a token. It feels watered down. I still struggle with how it works. But, from Nick's perspective, this dude on this piece of content alone has made almost $10,000. Uploads an image taken from his video. He has made $10,000 almost from this coin. Coin sitting at what, a 1 mil market cap? But he's made $10,000 from it. Luna, good morning, man. We might, dude, Moonship, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, we might get some incredible leering from this. We probably will. Actually, I love this coin called Leering. That's a great meme coin. It's a great meme coin. This hit almost 3 mil. Do I think it's going to work? I don't know. It's one of those things, again, I see it in the future where it could work. I still struggle with meme coins or tokens, fungible tokens being the way. And I see the crazy out there scenario where it could. I don't think we're there yet, but hot right now, viral, whatever, maybe. Does it have upside? Maybe. I'm not going to bet on it. I'm going to watch it. I use this to help gauge the rest of the space. And just knowing that Base wants to push this. Base wants this to work. Base wants this to be huge. So you have Base pushing it. You'll have Nick Shirley at some point. At some point, I think Nick's going to tell other content creators, guys, I'm just going to throw out random number. I don't know. But you might have Nick saying, content creators, you should be launching on Zora. I've made $75,000 in a weekend on my content. And we're not going to see him as the only successful content creator here. We're not. So we got to watch this. I think this is really, really, really important. Really important. Really important for Base, which is just this. It's growing. Base is finally turning into what we thought it would turn into. And I think just starting. This was Base's year, and I think their best time is also ahead of them too. But Base, the largest ETH-L2 by TVL. It's finally starting to happen here. And look, you don't have a lot of choices here, but their top coin, Zora, yeah. Arrow from Aerodrome, yep, Brett. We've got some success stories over there. It is just starting. Banker was a cooker this year on Base. Absolutely. We've got some success stories starting over there, and we got to pay attention. And I love hearing how receptive they are to feedback, and maybe how like our feedback actually helps them steer the platform very specifically here. And I love this direction if it goes this way. Brian Armstrong asking, should the Base app marketing, like should they market this thing as the self-custodial version of Coinbase? I always thought that's exactly what it was going to be. I didn't know it wasn't that until more recently when we learned the social creator coins was the direction they were pushing, right? You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden we're like, oh, Coinbase, the decentralized Coinbase was the opportunity, I thought. The creator stuff, again, well, we see some success from one of the biggest, most viral things right now, but that's the ceiling, 5 mil, 10 mil. Do they keep pushing the social thing, or do they push, hey guys, this is the decentralized Coinbase, the self-custodial Coinbase? I love them asking for the feedback. I think they're getting the feedback of push is the decentralized Coinbase. I love it. I'm more bullish on Base than ever at this point. And really, they can do both at the same time. Push it as the decentralized Coinbase. And at the same time, push that you have some maybe innovative content options. We'll see. We'll see. I like everything going on Base right now. Zober, good morning. GM, man. I've been watching this stuff very closely, and we will be doing that. Okay, we also talked about white whale. Another one of those coins I'm watching. I'm not playing. I wish I did. I think we all started seeing this on our timelines a couple months ago. A meme coin that launched on, I want to say October like 12th or 13th, that all of a sudden a few days ago exploded. I mean, coin moving in a way we haven't seen since, the good old days of meme coins, which truthfully, we saw stuff like that, a few months ago, but now you don't see it. You don't see a coin ripping from, birth 2 months ago to I'll show you in a minute how high it got. But as of a couple days ago, 50 mil market cap, wild. We don't see that often anymore, but that's white whale. So again, first on our radar a couple months ago, this coin's sitting at, a mil up to like 5 mil market cap, nothing crazy. And it felt like in that time, and it actually was, that was the ceiling for these things. Today, I'll just show it now. Today, completely different story. This white whale coin, we looked yesterday at it a little more closely. Yesterday, 40, 50 mil market cap. Luna's right. But guys, let me refresh, but this coin hit a $72 million market cap. 72 mil. Sitting at 68 right now. Peaked at 72, but you see most of that movement, we could say most of that movement was in the past 3 or, let's even go here. Most of this was 4 days ago is when the real move started. In fact, you could go back a little further, but look at this. 1 week ago, this coin was at a 4 mil market cap. Crazy. You've got what? I don't know, 13x in here. I'm mathing right. We'll just go with it. 50 mil's nothing. This used to be normal. You used to see this every damn day. And also a good shout, Cabal. Yeah, dude. In fact, I'd probably argue most of the best coins are. Right? We learned, actually, we knew this very early on, but we knew the Pepe meme coin was super cabaled. I might argue that we need that for a lot of these coins to make it to, those monster levels we used to see. It takes the right person like steering the thing. And really what it is controlling the supply. But there's something interesting here. And maybe there's kind of a new meta that's brewing out of, both the Nick coin and the white whale coin. Something really interesting. I mean, like, I keep my little, like, my sensors are on. I'm trying to feel what direction things are going. And I'm always trying to feel for new metas. Maybe something brewing here. By the way, I'm just taking this guy at his word. I think this is right. There's no reason this wouldn't be. But hang on, I'll get to Luna's comment in a second. But dude, tons of liquidity on this coin. Tons of liquidity. I'm going to say good, healthy coin. But that said, they hold a lot of tokens. They hold a lot of tokens. The team itself, right? The white whale guy. By the way, the story of this. Let me jump to that tweet. Just want to make sure people know the story. I'll just can say the story. The story is white whale is a trader. You guys fill in any blanks too, or correct me if any of this is wrong, but trader who got liquidated on 1010, lost billions. In fact, I think lost tens of millions of dollars on 1010. Got absolutely decimated on the great liquidation day. Absolutely wrecked. Somebody made a meme coin called White Whale, and I don't know if it was poking fun at him. I don't know if it was to support him, but somebody made a meme coin about him. And so that's where it was born. But he ended up taking over the coin. Taken over as in, I think, buying a bunch of coin. This is where you guys correct me if any of this is not totally spot on, but buying a bunch of the coins, like a lot of it, and taking over running socials basically for it. He became the face of the coin about him. And that's basically your story here. But him controlling the coins, if he's got the right motivation, if he's a good guy, might mean he's not dumping coins on you. Picture a team that's got a coin out there that they're not dumping coins on your head. They're saving them. They're just going to hold them, and they might say, hey, we're never going to sell. I imagine he's going to sell at some point. But I think what's driving this is there's no intention to sell anytime soon. And of course, that controlling the supply, it's like the Trump token, same thing. They held, I want to say, like 90% of the supply. That is what can get you to those ridiculous market caps in the short term, is locking up supply, not letting it ever hit the market, right? That's what we're seeing. And we got the derivatives here. There we go. Hoods has got gold whale. Luna says it won't sustain. It'll probably run to 200 mil, then go to zero. Yeah, that's kind of what I see. And that's the thing. You should probably bet on that happening. Both sides, that this probably, if the market will give us this, this has that kind of potential, right? Yesterday we were saying this should be $100 million coin. 200 might be in play. It really might be. And does it go to zero eventually? Yeah, I would imagine so. But does it have that kind of upside in it still? It feels like it. It feels like it does. And then maybe, and this happens once a year, once every, it's so rare, but sometimes you get those memes that become like a bigger thing, right? Like a core meme, kind of like the Pepe. I don't think this is that time in that market for it, but Hopium may hold, but utility will stand. Yeah, probably. Okay, but what if there's a fresh meta coming? What if it's the good guy meta? Again, I don't know this guy. It probably ends like Moonship and Luna are saying. He dumps on everyone's head and it's dead. Probably. That's what we're used to in this space. Probably. But what if this is actually good guy, not looking to sell, trying to do it like the responsible way? So fucking foreign here. So I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't count on it. We don't see that hardly ever. But what if? A tweet from him yesterday. I think this is really his account. Maybe not, but I think it is. I think that's him. Tweeting out yesterday, I've seen this in many good projects. Some of the best DeFi protocols, they make the same critical error, giving up too much of their token supply too early in the game. The biggest problem. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, Gravity. If there's any candidate out there to be the next, Mudang or whatever those big meme coins are, this is probably it. And at this point, in pretty late. Boom. Absolutely right. Luna's right. When Bitcoin falls, what do? You do what all of us have done, most of us, probably all of us, though. It's a race to the exit, and you sell whatever you have that is worth anything. That's just what happens. And so if and when Bitcoin heads back down, low 80s, maybe we're in the 70s, maybe threatening to drop into the 60s. Dude, this is the first thing that gets sold because people have made money here. The first thing they're out of. And even the people who are top blasting, saying, oh shit, let me get out and save what I still have here. And they sell. This is the perfect example of where you can lose it all in an instant. Absolutely that. Absolutely. But does it have the other side, the potential there to be the next Mudang? Yeah. And I especially look, I'm reading into this, right? The white whale. It's just the dude's name on here, but I kind of look at this as like the white knight, the hero we need kind of thing, or what, like it's got an interesting feel to it. The good guy. It's got that. Hang on. SPX. Okay, you could win me over on SPX 6900, but not on 6969. I'm a big SPX fan, but not that one. Not that one. A well-run project keeps control of its token supply because it understands that what that control represents. It's not power for power's sake. It's the ability to make deliberate decisions instead of desperate ones. Supply is leverage. It's protection. Again, all this I agree with. Look, this should be normal. This should be like default. It's not. And so I love hearing somebody who is running a token saying this stuff. I love it. Stewardship is about staying solvent and relevant over the long haul. There's a lot here to like. And this is one of those things, there's a lot true at the same time. This goes to zero eventually. This may have this guy here dump all those tokens and kill the token in an instant. Absolutely. And it also could be the next mood egg. That's a problem. White whale is not cute. Cute matters, dude. It's like those little things are not so little. It's not a good meme. It's not cute. It's none of that stuff. But the space is looking for a hero. It is. The space is looking for a good guy, hero, or whatever. Like, there's something about this. There's something about it. It's got the spidey senses tingling. We'll see. Okay. I do think we needed this. We needed it. Now we get all the derivatives, all these derivatives. So our brother here, Hoods, has got one. I love it. We've got trash whale, gray whale, gold whale. Is that yours? Hoods, is that your coin right there? If you launched it, I don't know if you launched it, but there's gold whale. I don't know if that's yours, man. That might be Hood's coin right there. We got blue whale, silver whale, black whale. We all the derivs. One of the things that's killed the trenches, it's the copycats. It's the PvP. It's like, right. It's awful. Have we been conditioned at this point where we don't play those? And clearly not. Clearly not. Some of these are some of these got volume. But it's the king yet. Yep. Dude, it's what happens every single time. Big meme comes out, the vampire attack. Everybody's trying to launch the version. And the tricky thing is you get a good organic thing that launches, and you get a cabal version of it or a scam version of it where they've also controlled the supply. And maybe they have good comms and maybe they have a good network and they're able to make theirs the top one just because they're good at the game. And the organic ones don't stand a chance, right? It's what's killed this space. Killed it. And you get stuff like this. Soldier Boy now, how many rugs has he launched? Now launching a token launch pad. I'm hoping again, and it's pure hopium, dude. I don't know. But I'm hoping we've changed. I hope that we don't even give this attention anymore. At some point, this just becomes noise and it doesn't work anymore. And maybe we're there. I don't think we're there, but maybe we are. It's what we need. Bossman's saying what I'm feeling here, though, right? He is. I'm feeling that this could be a big moment. Could be. Doesn't happen without Bitcoin running back to 100 plus, right? Like the market will give us what it'll give us. Right now, it's not going to give us something special. I don't think it can give us that next special thing, the next pep. I don't think that's this market. Could be. But I like Bossman a lot. Again, I like his take. Something really bullish is happening. Everyone lost their money and got flushed out. Yep. On top of that, and then this is me. People are refusing to trade in order to preserve capital. That's me. I'm not trading. At first, it's bad. Now it seems like it's helping the trenches heal. I like this. Plays are moving slower. Good. Plenty of time to get in. Yes. PvP reducing. Kinda. Less scams. Communities exist. All this is kind of true. It's kind of happening. I hope we're feeling that maybe we've rounded a corner. Maybe. But I feel something's happening. And we'll see. We'll see if this market can give us that. There we go. Might be lighter day. It might be. If so, our boy Luna adds another basketball court to his home, upgrades the palace. I don't know. But DK, I could never say we're back because I definitely don't think we are. But it's certainly interesting. Okay, so the two things I'm watching as far as new things that I think matter a lot, Nick Shirley coin and White Whale. White Whale's probably going to 100. And again, could die at any moment, but probably where we're going. Rest of the market, talking Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, not great. Volume atrocious, especially the weekend. We kind of dove into this a bit yesterday too, but Sunday's exceptionally bad for volume. Yesterday, same story. 17 billion volume. Like one of our slowest days, I would argue probably all year. Unless I don't know what times they're reporting unless this still grow. Actually, this probably is not complete. Now, maybe it is. Either way, 17 mil. Low volume. All right, let's peek at our prices now. I do want to check ETFs too, so let me pull it up. But you see right here, Bitcoin, stable coin. Even though you saw what happened, we got our pump yesterday, and of course, this was last night. Of course, dumps right back down to the same level we were at before. I just weird market. Still trying to figure out what this is. Like why? But there you go. Bitcoin 87.5, ETH 2,900, BNB 850, Ripple 186, Solana 122. I do want to see that little pump yesterday. Yeah, huh. Actually, let's flip to price. Did we touch 9? We did touch 90. Yep, we got over 90K last night. And I definitely saw the calls that we're back. I mean, I didn't even see this. I didn't even know till this morning that even happened. But from 87 yesterday when we were live up to 90. I don't think we got too close to 91, but there we go. And a lot of people thought this was it. This is maybe the rotation from, we'll talk about this, but silver, gold, maybe it's Bitcoin's turn now. No. Nope. In fact, we fell all the way to 86. Wow. Yep. Whatever's going on. Boy, I still don't think we know exactly what's going on. I'll say that. I don't think we know exactly. Of course, again, low volume day, but more. Looking at the Bitcoin ETFs, going all the way back to Friday, 275 mil in outflows. Over on ETH, expecting outflows again. Hang on, that's still Bitcoin. ETH, 38 mil. Let's go 39 mil in outflows, and then Solana, probably seeing inflows here. And actually nothing. There we go. Silver's been the story, man. Hoods, was that gold whale token that we had on screen? Was that yours? Gold whale on base, gold whale on Sol. Yeah, Hoods, was that your token? Okay, Silver. By the way, shout out CJ. CJ nailed the call yesterday or Saturday or whatever. CJ nailed it. Okay. So we saw Silver flipped Apple last week, right? Became the third most valuable asset in the world. And next target was NVIDIA. Silver flipping NVIDIA. And it was really close this weekend. And I think it was yesterday, whatever, maybe Saturday. But CJ said, headline on Monday. In fact, I'll put it on the screen. Headline Monday is going to be Silver flips NVIDIA. And then it dumps. And it's exactly what happened. It's probably really hard to see, but there's a tweet. Silver overtakes NVIDIA to become the second largest asset in the world by market cap right here. And what happens, it's exactly what CJ said. And I think that's a screenshot, I think right from our stream. Headline on Monday, Silver tops NVIDIA. That'll be the top for Silver for a while. Not financial advice, though. And again, CJ nailed it. Exactly how it played out. Real cool to see. Real cool. Now, is Silver done? I think not. In fact, CJ, if you're still here and the rest of you guys, Silver, is it done? Or is this a little, first off, expected pullback? I would bet so. Expected pullback. I see some people saying the whole thing was rigged anyways, that they would not be playing Silver right now. I know most of you guys don't agree with that. You think Silver's got a ton of room ahead of it still. Like a ton. So I know CJ's still long, but I'm curious, time frame now. But I saw people saying this was just pure manipulation anyway, and this whole pump was fake. I don't think that's true at all. No, I think there's something really real going on here, and really big. And I think there's a lot more coming. By the way, I believe this is true too, but CME raises your silver margin requirements. Goes into effect today. Maybe a little something to do with the price action, a little bit. Maybe. But more important here, and this isn't just a silver thing, maybe some of this is talk about 1010, is that maybe maybe there's some concerning things happening behind the scenes. So what like institutional things failed on 1010, and the same here in silver right now. There's a lot of, you've probably seen a lot of these tweets this morning, right? But there's a lot of these like anonymous or like kind of claims that a very important bank was liquidated overnight in the silver market, right? Failed to beat a margin call overnight, was liquidated. Right? This is a systemically important bank, a major player in silver futures. And the name is being hidden for now. You know? Don't know. Sucks. Don't know what's true. Don't know what's not. But that could be true. That could be true. They need silver for missile production. They need silver for, they need silver for a lot of things, right? Now it's China having like these export controls on it now. You need to have a license to export silver starting January 1st. And I know like Elon Musk tweeted, it's very concerning, right? Or it's not good. Gravity silver looks like it peaked. Long uptrends usually end with a sharp spike to the upside. Converse is true too. And CJ, the latest silver move is quite detached from the fundamentals. Silver utility case doesn't justify this move, as far as I can tell. Is the move like based on the news out of China? Is that the driver of it? As of the first, yeah, China's going to halt physical silver exports and at the very least control them. You have to have an official like export license. So super disruptive. This is the same as the rare earth minerals issues we had in October that led to 1010. So we'll see. We did talk this yesterday with just like, Monday, different show, fresh show. We got to touch on it again. 26, we're a few days away. We're 3 days, 3 days away from the start of the new year, 2026. And there's hope. There's hope. I lean on the hopium side, and I still like the Dr. Profit entire thesis of how next year plays out. Rough year, Bitcoin ranging, Bitcoin trending down. Bottom September, October, followed by money printing, and then 2027 being a phenomenal year. I hope. But we do have these things coming this year. Interest rates, possibly more rate cuts. Trump wants as low as 1%. We think we got stimmy checks coming. The AI arms race, right? There's some really, really big things coming here still. We got the midterm elections coming later this year. They probably want this market looking phenomenal here for it, probably. And we'll see. And crypto should rejoin the asset owner party. We hope, of course. And tech deving, right? Talking about the business cycle and how much, how important of a factor that is here. It's correlation to Bitcoin price, right? Yeah. I'm there too. Hopium though. CJ, the latest move, this is on silver, has been pure mania, not necessarily any specific trigger. People just piled in because it kept going up. Clear blow off top. Wow, is this true? China owns over 50% of all physical silver. Wow. Yeah. I'm telling you, CJ's good. We'll see. Hopium. Pure hopium. Also pure hopium. But this is from our 4chan Anon. We talked about this a bunch, but our 4chan Anon, who called the top of Bitcoin this year, October 6th, still with a prediction of Bitcoin to 250K this year. I hope, and I don't see it, but I hope. This is one of those ones, I'll do the Paul Atreides thing again. That narrow path, I kind of don't see it. Like, I get the story, I get the way it can get there, but I don't see that in the future for this year coming. I don't see it. But eventually that does happen. Eventually it does. It does. All right. Shout out again to Luna And I hope his big day for Lighter today on Cato. Lighter is top spot for pre-TGE mindshare. TGE sounds like it's today. It sounds like it's today. Expect that to be all over your timeline and to see all kinds of wins coming from the Lighter Bros and our Lighter Bro, man, Luna here. I can't wait. That's probably the biggest thing happening today. So I'll be watching. Again, next year, awesome stuff coming. We probably get Kraken IPO next year. Target valuation 20 bill. Great. Consensus IPO maybe. Animoca Brands IPO. BitGo IPO. Yeah. I'm watching for some spicy ICOs. I think we'll get them. I know a lot of people saying the ICO meta is dead. I don't think it is. Although, every time we do it, it reminds me to go back and check here. Hang on. Monad. And by the way, I really like Midnight. I really like it. Where's Monad? There we go. Yeah, man, rough. You know, the last big ICO here. Last big ICO, and you're down pretty bad if you did this one. It's not great. Also, expecting Coinbase to come out with their next big ICO very soon, right? It's supposed to be like once a month, and it's been, I think we're getting close to like 2-ish months. But yeah, you'd be down on that Monad ICO. So yeah, anyway, still think next year, I think next year is going to be the year of ICOs. We'll see. Tariffs, we're going to get a resolution on this soon too, right? Tariffs ruled legal, illegal, whatever. Sounds like we probably, at least one of our Supreme Court justices saying they probably can't force the refunds at least, which probably keeps things a little cleaner. But that ruling comes soon. Remember, government shutdown possibly end of January. Not great. We got some very exciting things coming. We have the flip side as well. So we will see. Quick update on the Flow outage this weekend. All right, we covered that Saturday. We actually woke up to that news that Flow was hacked, right? And it was. Somebody minted, I think, $3 to $5 million worth of Flow tokens. Right out of thin air, minted them. Found a vulnerability, and minted tokens like out of thin air. Created tokens, dumped them, crushed the Flow token. And here, let's even show this again. I know it's a little, we're kind of retreading on what we talked about over the weekend, but here, I just want to show that flow chart. It's not great. It's not great. Pre-hack, we'll go market cap, but pre-hack, token sitting at a 282 mil market cap. You can go FDV. And then there's their hack, and it didn't recover. It didn't. And I hope people stayed away from this. Not saying that there's not upside here, but I hope people stayed away, right? I gave a warning here, which is things used to work like this, as in platform compromised. If it's a big platform, usually price recovers, right? They fix the thing, make everybody whole. We kind of resume. I feel like it's so different now. I wouldn't make that bet anymore. And that if we're in the time of like price discovery, which we are, this is just fast tracking you there. And so if you bought after that incident, you're probably down right now, even from there. It's not great. It's not great. And that's not a flow thing. I think almost anything that would crash right now from like something like this, probably the same thing happens. Fast track to price discovery here. So this is going to be resolved here. Actually, I think within the past 45 minutes, I'm going to check the flow account, but this is, I believe, fixed now. So they put out their incident report. What happened again? Somebody minted a whole bunch of flow tokens and sold them. That's what happened. Now the fix for this was going to be resetting the blockchain. They paused it. It's crazy, but yeah, you can pause some of these chains. So they basically turn the chain off or pause it. You can't transact. And they said, we're going to roll back to a previous time, and we'll continue back from there, like undoing anything that happened between those points, which not great. They got a lot of pushback about that. They got a lot of pushback. And then people screaming, not decentralized, blah, blah, blah. And they're right. I get that. They're right. Also, I never I never considered Flow to be like truly decentralized, right? But in the end, they actually listened to the community. They listened to the public about this. They are not rolling back the chain. They're not going to do it. They're not. They're just going to continue, which is actually pretty damn cool, right? So not rolling things back, and actually said it would have taken. It wouldn't have been their decision alone, right? They would talk to their partners, their node operators, and they're dropping big names, right? Google, T-Mobile, Quick Node, Dapper, but yeah, no rollback. Network will be restarted at the last sealed block. And chain will be live. I believe as of now, I think as of 50 minutes ago is when it was supposed to go back live. So let's peek and see if they've tweeted out. And it looks like they haven't. I'm sure there's like a flow scan or something, and we could see that it's live again. But that's imminent. I think any moment now, flow should be back and live and in work and business. And anybody who's not whole, right, that maybe lost money, if you transacted, again, it's going to, your transaction, well, no, at this point, because they're not rolling it back, should be square. They've just isolated the malicious addresses. I'm sure somebody's like lost here, and I'm sure they make them whole still. But, dude, wild weekend. Just wild weekend. All right, we got to blitz through the rest. But let's jump over to AI. Starting with tokens, we're at a 5.38 bill market cap. Very curious about this. Top agents by market cap. Fartcoin's on top. Back under 300 mil. It's followed by Tibber, Toshi, Alk, and Turbo. On the infrastructure side, also very curious when we get to Pippin here. Let's see. Yeah, hey, man. Jeez. Top infrastructure tokens. It's FET, Virtual, Pippin, DCAI, and MWXT. Pippin, 434 mil. For me, that's the leading indicator, as is Fartcoin. But also, again, I'm looking at the Nick Shirley coin and White Whale. Those are the things. Those are the four things I'm looking at for the like true, we're back indicators. And Bitcoin, obviously. All right, and then Mindshare. Warp on top, Elsa, Fartcoin, Opus, and Cookie. So that's what people are talking about. Over on virtuals, not a lot's changed here. One launch coming up that I think is worth paying attention to. I will say this, though. A couple new ones on the board, too. Wagme Witty, just an agent that tweets or drops witty comments like nothing burger, right? There's nothing here. There's nothing. Okay, but I am still watching Hyperbet. I'm still watching. Look, I heard them on the Big Will and Goon show. I heard the team talk. And I didn't like what I heard. I'll say that. Katz, I bet you listen too. Good to see you, man. Who's Anthony Joshua? I don't know who that is. Who's Anthony Joshua? Oh, dude. Oh, it's the guy who fought Jake Paul, huh? Damn. All right. Interesting. Okay. Hyperbet was on the Big Will and Goon show talking about their platform. And okay, here's the product for anybody who hadn't heard before. It's a gambling platform. Apparently they've, their parent company is like very legit in the gambling space. I'm saying apparently because I don't know and I haven't vetted it, and I would want to vet anything with these guys because I didn't like the feel. But you can launch casino games. You brand them. You can design the game. I think that's the gist. But you use AI to build casino games, which is cool. Like, I like that idea. I think that's super cool. But when the team was on, the talk was like, we'll take community feedback and we could do revenue sharing and we could do this and we're going to end up talking about what they're going to build. But dude, what I didn't like was hearing them, like they had a checklist of the very obvious things you have to say. Again, like revenue sharing, like that was the big one. If they're saying the words that like picture a year ago and 2 years ago, the buzzwords you have to say that gets people like FOMOing into stuff, it felt like they were running that playbook. Very old playbook, saying those words that you say that used to get people excited that don't anymore. It felt really rehearsed and it felt really out of touch and it felt more scammy because of that. I didn't feel anything that felt legit. Even in then talking about their plans, I didn't hear anything that sounded like there was anything real there. The fact that this is coming out and you can't launch your games at the start. You can't do what the product actually is. It's not going to work. They'll have their own casino games, so they'll take your money. You can gamble. But the actual cool part of this, you launch your own games, doesn't work yet. And then it's like, well, when that comes out, and that should be in a few months, you can launch a game and you'll get paid when people use your casino games. Again, that kind of talk about you're going to make money. And that was the focus of it. You'll make money and we'll share revenue and we'll do this. And when asked specific questions like, we don't know, but we'll have the community, community can give us like, well, we want to do what you want. It was so much of that stuff. I'm like, yeah, this feels super sus. Yeah, cats. It felt really sus. And I know Will has this at a B tier. I wouldn't have it at B, especially for something like this where they're going to pump the token price to 6 mil, like out of the gates. I think this is a perfect example of a project that needs to prove itself before I would give him any kind of high rank. B, respectfully, like Will gives him a B. He's got decent instinct, right? I'd have these guys at C and no higher. And I would probably actually lean towards D because it feels so sus. But I guess if I'm being more technical and I need reasons for it to be at D, I don't have it. So I C. C with awesome potential. But it's so sus that it's for me C. And I wouldn't play it. I would wait and watch. And if it's legit, it could be really cool. But I've seen a lot of casino stuff come out on chain, and most of them have been scams. And bad vibes from this one. And there you go. Why token? And again, you could say token so we can share rev and this and that. And right. Even Neox was like, why token? And it was like for perks, for benefits, for, it's all fine. But it was, if the team said nothing, if the team didn't talk at all, I might have been a little more bullish on them. But hearing the team talk, all it did is have the spidey senses tingling, and not in a good way. So there we go. We'll wait. We'll watch. We'll see. Few days off. 4 days, 5 days off. We'll see. All right. A couple other quick things. What else we got? Virtual's team member talking ACP. Good. Let's see if ACP can grow this year. I'm curious. But robotics. Let's see if the robotics thing becomes one of those big metas this year. I don't feel like it's going to, right? And on Wednesday, we'll cover like top things that happened this year, but also predictions for 2026. And, I've already said many times, and I know you guys are all here too, but privacy going to be probably top of that list. If not top, it's right behind it. It's number 2, but privacy coins, privacy platforms, number 1, probably. Is there a chance that it's robotics at number 2? I don't feel it. I don't feel like robotics is going to be a top meta in crypto next year at all. I don't feel it, but I'm watching because I can be easily wrong about it. I would like to be wrong about that. I would love for 2026 to be massive robotics meta because I think it would catch everybody by surprise. I don't feel it. And I would love for it to happen. So we'll watch. Embodied agents is robots powered by, AI brains. We're watching. Okay, on to NFTs. Looking at volume from last week. 61.4 mil, that's cross-chain sales. Man, that is, I believe, our second lowest volume ever. Like, not this year, ever. And I'm talking since 2021, since things exploded. Second lowest week of volume ever. Sellers were up last week. Buyers were down. Transactions up. Average sale price, down. But trade profits, still looking at that. Lost harvesting for a few more days, really, but almost 12 mil in the negative here. Almost 12 mil. So not great. Not great anywhere in NFTs. Let's then, I'm going to peek at the 7-day and just see our top collections. D-Market, always. Well, not always, but always cooking. We'll say that. D-Market on top, Courtyard. CryptoPunks, yeah, nothing really crazy here. Again, it's scam collection. That Bored Ape collection, not real. Some cool sales. Got to shout those out. No matter what, I still love NFTs. Always will. But an $82,000 Meebit sale. Really interesting. Saw a lot of people shitting on this, and maybe it's fake and whatever. And actually, the seller took a big old loss, lost over $1 million on that me bit. Look, it's an alien, right? I think that's the type, like an alien me bit. So probably one of the most, the rarest me bits in the collection. But you know, seller might have been loss harvesting here. Yeah, let me see. These minted for 2.5 ETH. Wow. Um, Bought on secondary for 275 ETH and then sold it for 28 ETH. So huge loss. Huge loss. And at the same time, still a big sale. An $82,000 Meebit sale. Saw a regular animal sell. I love these. I would do whatever I could to get one of these. Just me. I would. I want one so badly. If I could trade somebody like my V1 Punk and my Hoodie GVC, I probably would. Little package trade. I want one of these so bad. I think these have such interesting upside on them. And not here now, but long term, long term, I think these have very interesting upside. I would love one for 4 ETH. I would love one at 5 ETH or 6 ETH. I think that's a really good spot for them. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can make that move somehow, some way. Man. Stable coins make it a very different thing. Meme coins really do hurt all. Stable coins and meme coins are really bad for alts. Alts need to give ownership or rev, or it needs to be more. They have to be. Otherwise, they're just meme coins that are insanely overvalued. And we saw one other sale. What was it? A Monument Game player NFT, right? Remember those player NFTs? Saw one of those sell for 2 ETH. And I'm looking at stuff like that. I'm like, that's an interesting one because Sam Spratt every couple of years puts out a new major 1-1 and he builds a game around it. And the way it works is at first those Masks of Lucy, right? Or is it the Skulls were the first one? I think the Skulls were first. The Skulls of Lucy got to participate in the first game. The next game, each Skull of Lucy, I think, got 2 NFTs, or they got 1 NFT to grow the circle. And I believe the next Sam Spratt thing, whatever it is, will grow it out even further. So those player NFTs, I think, then get the next NFT to grow it out even further the next time around. I'm looking at those. If they're 2 ETH, those are an interesting play. I think the best plays in NFTs right now are art. That simple. And that's the Beeple stuff and Sam Spratt and very much stuff on the ordinals, even though down so bad over there. But I think art on ordinals, very interesting. Very interesting. I've seen, I'm even seeing some big virtual agent holders start to leave the ecosystem and just convert to stakes for yields. Yeah, there's no reason to buy most of these tokens. Like Katz always says, what do you need a token for? It's the best question you can ask. It's the most direct question you could ask. And it's the question that most don't have an answer for. We did it to raise funds and because that's just the way the space worked. And now we're like, but it's not enough. It's not. It's got to be ownership. It's got to be revenue sharing. It's got to be more. Or you just have to say it's a meme coin. It's for us to raise funds and it's a meme coin. And if it's a meme coin, you better prove you can go get eyeballs. You better prove you can play the social game. Otherwise, I think people are not playing this stuff anymore. I'll tell you this. I saw an artist list. So somebody, it was an artist or a big collector, put out a list. These are the breakthrough artists of 2025, and Modest was on there. And he deserves to be. Modest was, and Maniac, and a few other great artists. But seeing Modest there, I'm like, dude, Modest is going to have his time. I've been thinking a lot about buying more mementos. I'll show those here because I do think they're an interesting play because there's like no downside on them. And this will kill my browser, but whatever. But yeah, check it out. Like we've showed these a lot, so everybody I think is familiar. Wait, this is not the real collection. No, that's not the real one. Well, we'll see if I can find it. Here, we'll go here and we'll go here. Here it is. Mementos is CJ. Have a great day, buddy. And great call with the silver thing, man. Jeez. I mean, the cool thing is they can't go to zero. This is why they're so interesting. 0.029, right? You can take them and get a refund. This is basically, I believe it's basically at the break-even point. Anytime you want from the mint price, which was, God, I'm at 0.04 something, I believe. At any time here going forward, you can return your NFT, get 75% of your ETH back. So I think these are essentially right at that level, right? So you can buy these and return them anytime, minus any royalty here, but you return them and you get, you get your ETH back. So I think it's an interesting play where if Modest gets really big, and it's like a Max Payne NFT where you burn them to get artworks. If it gets really big and there's some buy pressure on the collection, well, you got upside there. And by upside, there could be a 5x, there could be a 10x in these things, right? There's something there. And if there's not, there's no downside. You can return it and get the ETH back. Again, if that's like enticing to anybody, make sure you go look into like what that exchange actually is. It's 75% from the mint price, but you got to double check what the mint price was. And then you got to double check that it applies if you buy it on secondary, but I'm like 99.9% sure it applies no matter how you bought it, right? The ETH is in a treasury. So if you buy it secondary, again, you return it to Modest, you get ETH back. There's like no downside. So I think I'm sitting on like 7 of these things, and I would like a lot more. And I'm thinking, what's up, J-Wise? Nick Shirley launch paired to Zora, but price action, yeah, yep, yeah. I think it's a really interesting coin, really, really interesting. Again, I think Base is going to push this hard, and they already did tweet about it. But right, was this the top at 9 mil, or can this run to 20, 25 mil, whatever? I imagine that kid's got more viral moments in him because he's been doing what he's been doing for, I don't know, a year. He's been doing the journalism thing for a while. I think he's got more viral stuff ahead. So very interesting. Okay. We've got Yuga Labs acquiring from Improbable tech behind the Other Side Metaverse, right? It's Improbable, M Squared. They acquired the team who built their platform that powers Other Side, right? So I guess inside of Improbable, there's like studios, teams, whatever. And so the devs that built the tech for the Other Side, they just acquired them. Yuga Labs is now like double down, triple down. They're all in on the metaverse meta, right? They shed all this other stuff. They shed the punks. They shed moonbirds. Everything else gone. They shed all their gaming assets too, right? They got rid of heavy metal. Was that all this year? That was all this year, wasn't it? Heavy metal gone. Remind me, guys, was the heavy metal stuff this year and the Legends of the Mara, was that all 25? If so, that's probably going to go on my top list for the year, right? But getting rid of all that stuff, focus on the metaverse, and I still am not convinced it works, but I think it's the right decision. Be the face of the metaverse. They can't be the face of NFTs anymore. They lost that. And they're not the face of communities. They lost all that. They were that. They were the face of NFTs. They were the face of like degen communities, kind of. I think they were. And they lost it, and I don't think they ever get that back. They can be the face of like a Web3 metaverse, that meta. They can, and they should be, because that's the only thing they can do that other people can't. So I like the move. Not convinced it works, but 5 years out from now, let's talk. I think the metaverse meta comes back. Would love to see them leading the way there. Rafiq Anadol has a new piece of artwork commissioned by Google for their new HQ called Gradient Canopy. The piece itself, Machine Dreams Biophilia. Awesome. I don't think there's an NFT here at all, right? It is digital art. I don't think there's an NFT for. Actually, you know what? Would love to find out that even if it's not an NFT he's selling, does he create an NFT of it that Google owns? In fact, let's ask Rock real quick because I think that's fucking awesome. Let's see. Let's see. That'd be really cool. No. But here's the thing. Grok doesn't know. He could have done it, and it's just not been mentioned publicly. I might even reply and ask, right? I think I think it's a big missed opportunity that he doesn't. I don't know why a digital artist wouldn't create an NFT for every single every single piece, right? Doesn't mean it needs to have value that you know it's ever being traded, but just like to the paper trail for ownership and whatnot. I mean, yes, you could do it on paper with real signatures and whatever, right? But I think a missed opportunity to not do that as an NFT. So we'll see. Couple other quick headlines. Then we are definitely out. But rumors of a big partnership with the Nasdaq and a big crypto company. Meaning what? Oh, interesting. The idea is they become a validator and a major network participant on chain. Would it be on ETH? Is it another blockchain? Don't know, but it's actually a big story if and when it happens. So we've been hearing like rumors about that too. So coming. Shout out to Subber who's shutting their doors. That's a bummer. Great guys, man. I worked with them briefly. A couple years back when we were doing some crypto slam stuff and right, we were doing whitelists and tracking stuff. And that I gotta say that team was really helpful. Like, you might reach out to a team and sometimes you're lucky if you get an answer. With those guys, I didn't just get an answer. They would do the follow-up. They would check in. They would make sure everything was cool. They were kind of asking ways they could help. They connected people on their team with us and scheduled calls, like just to help us with there wasn't anything in it for them other than there was the partnership there. That was a really good team. It was a really good team. And it's a bummer to see good teams, not able to survive here, but that's NFTs. And we're going to see a lot more of this in 2026, a lot more of this, right? We saw DApp Radar a couple months back. Still don't know how that played out because it sounded like maybe there's a way they'd be saved, but now Subber, we'll see a lot of this next year. We saw that Bored Ape platform. Was it the Bored Closet? We're going to see a lot of these NFT related platforms going bye-bye. It's a bummer. And then finally, what is this? Unification. What is it? Uniswap, web app, mobile wallet, browser extension, totally free products. Interesting. No front-end swap fees on positive slippage, or any other app level fees. Wow. There's no fees? Hang on, there's no fees on swaps on Uniswap? Is that like a short time thing, or was that part of their big changes they had? That's actually fucking crazy, right? I don't know why I read that before, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, but it didn't click. Okay, interface fees turned off, protocol fees switched turned on for specific pools. Okay, I need to look more into that. That's pretty interesting, though. I like it. All right, boys. Hey, fun show. Shows all week, right? We holidays this week, but New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we're gonna be here doing the thing. We'll do the year in review. We'll do what we're looking forward to next year. Top of that list has got to be Ethos Swarm. Go follow Ethos Swarm over on X. Check out that pinned tweet for the trailer. More news coming. I would imagine first full week of January. Let's just say early. Next year. More info coming. Follow us at Crypto Slam IO over on X. Of course, Slam Nation X on X as well. I want you on the show. Builders out there, come on the show. I want to talk about what you're building. I want to show people. And of course, plug into our data. We'll give you some credits to access it. If you need custom APIs built, we'll build them. And then make sure you subscribe over here, Crypto Slam on YouTube. Smash the like on your way out. And guys, I hope you have a phenomenal freaking day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.